Pacquiao Brony.
How you doing, Mr. Chappelle?
Pacquiao Brony.
I won't call it on camera. You put it there and I tell you.
A friend asked me the other day, why don't I do videos like I used to? A lot of videos. I'll tell you why. A short time ago, we had what everyone considered the fight of the year. Jose Zapeda versus Ivan Baranchik. This fight had 8 knockdowns and a brutal knockout that may wind up being knockout of the year. Certainly a candidate, okay? But it was everyone's fight of the year. And very few people talked about it. And even less people watched it. Now, the fight was a top-ranked fight. But that's not why people didn't talk about it. Oh, no, not because it was a top-ranked fight. Couldn't be that. Could it? And in my video, I said that fans and media who missed the fight between Zapeda and Baranchik, if they did not go back and watch the fight, then they are not boxing fans. They may be fans of a certain promotion, but no way can you miss that fight and call yourself a real boxing fan. But you know what? Some people did not go back and watch the fight. Well, last week, we had a better fight than that one. And here's what upsets me. I'm part of a few boxing groups on Facebook. And guess how many people talked about Juan Francisco Estrada versus Carlos Cuadras rematch that happened last week? Guess how many people in 3 Facebook boxing groups talked about Estrada Cuadras 2? You know how many? 0. That's how many. So I say to anyone listening, if you don't watch a replay of Zapeda versus Baranchik, or at least a highlight clip that shows you the 8 knockdowns and the knockout, and I'm being generous here by saying at least a highlight clip, don't tell me you are a boxing fan and love the sport. Just be real and say you like certain fighters or certain promotions, and I'll give you a pass. But I'll say this right here. If you don't watch Estrada versus Cuadras Part 2, you are not a real boxing fan. Not to me. That goes for my friends who are listening, to other YouTube channels, other websites, and to whomever it applies. Just my opinion. You know who you are, and I'm not looking to call names. Just examine yourself and come clean with the person in the mirror. No way you can be a boxing fan, a true boxing fan, and not watch either one of these fights. Now, I understand everyone doesn't have DAZN because the Estrada Cuadras 2 was on DAZN. But when you hear about fights like this, You find ways to go on YouTube or go into some streaming site to catch the replay. That's what people do. For those, just about everyone has ESPN, so there's no excuse. But once again, you can go online. You can go to one of these websites that sell DVDs. You can get both fights, and I'm telling you, you're not going to be disappointed. But as good as people were talking about, and they were talking, as good as people were talking about Zapeda versus Baranchik was, trust me when I tell you, Estrada, Cuadras 2 was better without the 8 knockdowns. There were a few knockdowns, a little bit of controversy on one of the knockdowns when Estrada went down and Cuadras was ready to try to finish him. The bell rang with like 25 seconds left in the round. Kind of mysterious. And listen, the powers that be, like it if you want, they would prefer Estrada to win that fight. So I'm just saying. Trust me, the first fight between Estrada and Cuadras was good. The rematch was great. Also on that card was the return of Chocolatito. All right, Roman Gonzalez. He won his fight, and he threw a ton of punches like we're used to seeing. Okay. He will now fight a rematch with Estrada. The world wants to see the rematch between Chocolatito and Estrada. They don't necessarily want to see the rematch between Chocolatito and Cuadras. Okay. Roman beat Estrada some years back, and Estrada wants some retribution. All right. Can't wait for that fight. All right. Anyway. I was on the Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones call. Excuse me. That call was a trip, man. There was some funny stuff on that call, except for one thing. All of the undercard fighters, they kind of went at each other on the Zoom call. But Jones and Tyson were the only two that didn't. I mean, they were like two babies who meet for the first time and decide they like each other, and they become besties, sharing their toys and their food and crying when one has to go home. And I'm like, come on, man. I mean, there just was no action between these guys. Listen, fellas, this fight will be at Staples Center, and more than likely, it'll be fought with a couple hundred people in the building, but no real paying fans, in other words. So you gotta sell it. It's a pay-per-view. You gotta sell it. Doesn't matter if it's some old WWF or WWE scripted stuff. Just make it funky for the fans who buy into the so-called bad blood between Tyson and Roy Jones. So hopefully they can script something to just bring. They got to come with something. But for the undercard guys, no problem. The Badu Jack versus the Blake McKernan portion of the Zoom call was funny. I mean, they were both selling it, but it felt real. It felt like, okay, you talking all this? Okay, we're going to see. So you just got the feeling like, I can't wait to see this. Because I think they're going to try to give us our money's worth. The Jake Paul versus Nate Robinson part was funny. So do this. Promise me you do this. Watch the end of this video, okay? I'm going to show a short clip, maybe 30, 40 seconds or so of their Zoom call, Jake Paul and Nate Robinson. So Jake was at the hospital, and when he was asked why he was at the hospital, listen to what he had to say. I'm going to leave it at the end of this video. Shout out to Boxing Wave. Okay, boxing, the sport we are alleged to love, and wave, like hello, like WAVE. Go check his channel out. All right, Boxing Wave. This man not only covered the Chocolatito comeback last week, he not only covered the Estrada Cuadras rematch, but he spent 4 hours, 32 minutes, and 23 seconds covering the entire card with his father. So, listen, please subscribe to him, okay, Boxing Wave. And if you ever have a few bucks to spare, send him one of those super chats on his channel when he's going live. Okay, he's got a lot more followers than me, and he actually covers the sport. Not just PBC, not just Top Rank, not just The Zone, not just Golden Boy. He covers it, all right? So make sure you watch this video at the end when they ask Jake Paul why he was in the hospital when he should have been at home on the Zoom call. And then watch Nate Robinson's his reaction. All right, so this weekend, the guy Boxing Wave, he'll be covering one of the cards. He didn't say which one, but trust me, him and probably his father will be on YouTube for hours, no matter which card or cards he covers this weekend. So check him out. Shout out to Go For It Gant. Shout out to C Boxing Info. Shout out to Duke Golden. Also, don't forget to check The Zone on Friday night for Jaime Munguia versus Toriano Johnson. Good fight. Also, Rashidi Ellis versus Alexis Rocha. That should be good also. Both good prospects putting it all on the line. Both of them undefeated. And so somebody's always got to go, right? Unless it's a draw. And that's what you want. You want I don't have their records, but they're both prospects, both undefeated. And this is what you want in boxing. Put it on the line. If you lose, guess what? You're not out of the picture. You can come back stronger than when you were undefeated. So this is what guys have to learn in this sport. Lamont Roach Jr. returns. He'll be on this card Friday night. And then hard-hitting Uzbekistani boxer. Bektimur Melik Uziev. Okay? Super middleweight. Undefeated. Check him out. He's one to watch. Okay, so now let's move. That's the Zone card Friday night featuring Jaime Munguia, Toriano Johnson, Rashidi Ellis, Alexis Rocha, Lamont Roach Jr. also appearing. Bektimur Melik Uziev also on the card. Hard hitting. Let's move to Saturday. We have 3. Count them. 3 major cards on Saturday night. Let's start with the Zone. We've got Alexander Usyk. Okay. Fighting at heavyweight once again. Taking on Derek Chisora. Good fight. It'll tell us where each guy is. Specifically Usyk, who is trying to take his thing to the heavyweight division. And if he wins, or whoever wins, there'll be a mandatory for Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua wants the 2-fight deal with Tyson Fury. And watch how easy it will be to make it if he can get... What he wants to do is hold on to the belt and get it like an exemption from, I believe it's the WBO, so he can fight Tyson Fury for all the marbles and then fight a rematch. And then after those 2 fights, if he's still the champion, he'd like to fight Usyk then, who'll be his mandatory, I believe, if Usyk gets past Chisora. So, we'll see how that plays out. Also on the card, Lee Selby versus George Kambosos in an IBF eliminator. That's a decent matchup. That's a good matchup. And we'll see how that plays out. Also, Savannah Marshall takes on Hannah Rankin for the WBO middleweight title. Okay, vacant belt. Not a bad card. Some other fights, but those are the main three. Usyk Chisora, Selby Kambosos, and Savannah Marshall, Hannah Rankin. So also, okay, and then next on ESPN Plus, the return of the monster, Naoya Inoue, as he battles live underdog Jason Maloney for the IBF and WBA bantamweight world titles. Okay? Maloney's not a bad fighter. He's one half of the Maloney brothers. So we'll see what he can bring to the table. Iwe Brocknica versus Nikayla Miller for the WBO junior lightweight or super featherweight title. That's a good women's matchup also. Brocknica's the champion, and Miller, a lot of buzz behind her, so we'll see if she can claim that WBO title, excuse me. Also on the card is Julian Rodriguez, highly touted prospect. He takes on Jose Eduardo Lopez Rodriguez. Okay, so that's a Rodriguez versus Rodriguez bout. Not a bad card. Also on Showtime pay-per-view, Gervonta Rambo Davis. See, folks, I knew this kid before he was Tank, when he was Rambo. Way before the tattoos. And if you go back a few years and look at me interviewing him, you'll see no tattoos on the neck or the chest or the arms. And that's back when he was Rambo. Anyway, Gervonta Davis will fight Leo Santa Cruz. Everybody will call him Leo except the one Showtime guy. He'll start out calling him Leo, and then he'll forget, and he'll go to Leo. That's just me. I've never heard of anything like this, but actually I have, but it's for Davis's WBA regular lightweight title and for Santa Cruz's WBA junior lightweight or super featherweight title. It's kind of like a winner-take-all type of deal, okay? So they're fighting for a regular lightweight title and a junior lightweight title or super featherweight title. And we'll see. We'll see how that works out. I think Davis is too big and probably a little too explosive for Leo, but I'm pulling for Leo to make a fight of it at least, okay? I think this one should be gripping no matter how long it lasts. You got to go with Inoue over Maloney. I like Usyk over Chisora. I think Munguia will have enough to beat Toriano Johnson. The thing about it is, you just don't know. Upset after upset has been happening in the bubble. Is that an excuse? No, when the guys decide to fight, they decide to fight. Timing. It's about timing. However, it's not an excuse, but it's a fact. And these whether people don't get up without the crowd or what have you, bottom line is there have been upsets in the bubble, and they will continue. Let's see what happens this weekend. Check out Jake Paul's response and Nate Robinson's reaction to the video at the end. I know I said this before. Also, you can find the entire Tyson versus Jones Zoom call online. The Badu Jack and Blake McKernan exchanges were funny also. And that's about it. Check out the fights beginning Friday night on DAZN. Oh, and check out the weigh-ins tomorrow afternoon. Okay, we'll post the Davis versus Santa Cruz weigh-in on our website, thefightjournal.com, just in case I forget to put it below this video. The Davis versus Santa Cruz weigh-in begins at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern. And I'll try to add the Inoue and the Usyk weigh-ins if I can find a link for them. And I'll put all three of them on the website, thefightjournal.com, if I forget to put it underneath this this video, okay? But definitely the Davis and Santa Cruz will be up on the site, and if I can remember to do it, I'll put it on underneath this video. All right, we'll catch you guys later.
Now, coming up next, Jake Paul and Nate Robinson. But for now, let us go to the two participants in the co-main event. The one and only Jake Paul, the YouTube sensation, who is here joining us, I do believe, via the phone. You see his picture right over there. And the three-time NBA slam dunk champion, the former New York Knick, the former Boston Celtic, the former Chicago Bull. The list goes on and on. The one and only Nate Robinson, who is making his pro boxing debut on November 28th. There is Jake Paul. His hair is joining us. Jake, are you with us right now? What's going on over there? Everyone showed up. Where are you?
Nothing.
Where are you joining us from, Jake?
I'm just chilling, man. I came to the hospital to get a little checkup. So, yeah, that's where I'm at right now. But, bro, thank you for having me, bro. Huge fan.
Well, thank you. What happened to you, Jake? Why are you at the hospital?
We were having a little morning practice, and my team was afraid that I was turning into Iron Man. I punched a hole through a car.
Okay, Nate, what do you make